Well, hello, everybody. Welcome back to Operation Anthropoid. It is now July 1939, and because of that, the Germans have a lot to go with. A little quick overview before this turn starts. Last term, Germany attacked and quickly overran Belgium and Switzerland, and because of that, the Allies decided that enough was enough, and they were going to declare war on Germany. And so Britain deployed a massive expeditionary force to Normandy and severely increased the defenses of home country. As well, Poland honored its alliance with the UK and invaded eastern Germany in an act of unprovoked aggression, for which they will not be punished this turn because I don't have enough units. And as well, they also captured all of Czechoslovakia. The Soviet Union did absolutely nothing. All they did was annex Lithuania and do a little bit more posturing, and have just remained quiet on the international stage so far, still reeling from the Great Purges. The Communist Chinese have moved south into Yunnan and Kwaichou, probably looking to break out to the sea in Kwangtung and encircle the nationalist forces on the coast. However, the nationalists have driven into the mountains of Sichuan and cut off the main communist army from their capital in Shenxi. So the warden is going to have a little bit of a pickle on his hands to figure out exactly how he wants to deal with this, because based on my calculations, I don't think it's likely that he'll be able to move north and defeat this nationalist army occupying Sichuan. And so he has to decide, is he going to abandon his territory in the north, try and redeploy, or instead try to push for the advantage in the south where the nationalists are split. Japan has continued posturing. Its fleet remains stationed around the Dutch East Indies, as well as much as Air Force. In response to that, the Australians and the Indians have both increased their home defense, with the Indians splitting their forces between an initial force on the beaches of Calcutta and then a secondary force inland in the Ganges Valley to probably repel any possible invasions. Meanwhile, the Dutch submarines continue to remain a persistent threat to Japanese convoy lines, albeit one with limited effectiveness. The Commonwealth, however, has not had a completely unblemished turn, as the Italians declared war on them during the middle of 1939, and captured both South Africa, most of their East African holdings, and made inroads into Egypt. As well, they've started advances into French North Africa and southern France, hoping to secure some territory to assist their German brethren, and their fleet is deployed to the Western Mediterranean, possibly anticipating a showdown with the British Force H base at Gibraltar, now that the bulk of the Royal Navy has returned to home waters to assist the French. The Americans have increased in their war hawkishness yet again, with the interventionists now controlling almost half of the seats in government. They still can't do too much, but the Lend-Lease program has been active and has been thoroughly propping up the Allied war effort, which the Axis think is horribly unfair, because after all, who'd we declare war on, and who'd the Allies declare war on? I don't think that's equal in any way, shape, or form. And as well, they have continued working on their base in the Philippines, and it has become their strongest bastion outside of the home territories of the continent 48. So I'm curious to see how that goes. It seems they anticipate a confrontation with Japan at some point. As far as I understand from the Japanese High Command, that is nowhere on the radar, and they have no desire except to live in peaceful cooperation with the Americans as long as the Americans will accept that. So we shall see how long that lasts, and if the Americans intend any belligerent actions in the Pacific. It is now July 1939, and we'll be starting the German turn. So I'm going to go ahead and start with technology first, since the Electron is here, because this is going to be a big turn, and so you can go ahead and just watch these. It is now 1939, which means I can progress to the stage 3, which means we'll be rolling for advanced mechanized, improved construction, improved factories, and long-range aircraft, I should think.
Just 3.
Oh, yes, I've lost one, and then in that case, we will lose improved factories. Forgot about that. It's not usual as Germany that you lose a major factory. Alright. So we'll roll for those. That looks good. A hit on mechanized, a hit on improved construction, and a hit on long-range aircraft. Excellent. The German scientists have seemingly finally been whipped into shape by the threat of imminent occupation by the Poles. So we'll see if that threat continues to convince them to work harder next turn, so we can actually get some of these completed. Because advanced mechanized in 1940 would be a wonderful boon to the German war effort. As far as purchases, the German purchases are very simple. There are a lot of Poles in Eastern Germany, therefore we will be buying 8 infantry, 1 anti-aircraft gun, and then leasing a marine to Italy. That will be all of our purchases, and we'll take all 32 of our IPPs. So now we can move on to combat movements. This is going to be a bit of a hectic turn, but we'll deal with it one thing at a time. So first, in Spain, the Spanish nationalists are going to move from Eastern Andalusia and take a little bit of revenge on their fallen air force by attacking Madrid with all available forces. And so, oh, I forgot to ask if he wanted to scramble his fighter. I don't assume he will. If he does, we can roll that again. He's asleep right now. But I don't think he'll scramble against. This is like 12 land units. That'd be a fast way to lose his air force on the return. As far as Germany, up here, the 84th, actually that's a non-combat move, the German Air Force will be launching a bombing raid on the British fleet in port. Not a port strike, but we will bomb that port. So we'll bring in one fighter from Bavaria, 1, 2, 3, one medium bomber from Western Germany, 1, 2, 3, and a fighter from Western Germany, 1, 2, 3. I believe the Electron said that he wished to scramble all 3 fighters from Paris, if I'm recalling correctly.
Yep.
So I'm just going to go ahead and pull those out. Not the tactical bomber. That can stay there. So it will be 4 fighters going up for interception against the 2 fighters and a bomber. And other news, the rest of the German Air Force will drop 2 airborne in southern England, which will be 1, 2, 3, and then they'll all have to go land back in Belgium. So if I recall correctly, that is 1 fighter, 1 tactical bomber, 1 medium bomber, and 2 air transports. The British have elected not to scramble their single fighter in London to that effort, and so it will be 2 militia against the German Luftwaffe. In Belgium, the 91st Mobile Army is going into Picardy, and then the mechanized infantry in Western Germany will be moving into Picardy as well to catch up with that army. And then, alright, that is all the combat moves on land. At sea here, this battlecruiser squadron will go raiding off the Canadian coast. This coastal sub will go raid in A-20. This normal submarine will also go raid in A-20. Actually, yes. And then this submarine will come up and raid in A-28. And I think that covers... this coastal sub will actually go raid in A-19. Actually, here. We'll have sub in A-19, coastal sub in A-20. And then hopefully that covers most of the Lend-Lease routes to the British Islands, depending on if the Americans get annoying. That will be all those. And then finally, down here, this submarine in the Indian Ocean is going to come across to raid off the coast of South Africa. Not too many pickings there, but it will protect that Italian transport from a little bit of danger. Alright. I believe that is all of the combat movements. The Electron, as you might have seen from the Discord pop-up, has just left. He'll be back in a few minutes. And so I'm going to pause the recording, and we will resume it when we get to the first round of combats. Alright. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Just been a few minutes. Dice have been set up. We're about to roll. But main note is I thought that southern France connected to Switzerland. It does not. There's the border kind of curves south right here instead of continuing north. So this 84th is going to march into Alsace-Lorraine, and this 91st is going to blitz into Alsace-Lorraine, so that I can still go into Paris avoiding the river, which means that this mechanized infantry will be the only one crossing the river there. Oh, and then these cavalry also have to move in. I believe that's everyone involved here. So that corrected. We can now go ahead and move on to dice rolling. I'm going to start with southern England. So to begin with, I'll have 2 airborne at 3 because they're being dropped in the airborne assault. There is no terrain, and we'll roll those out. There'll be 2 militia defending. Okay, that is 1 hit. And then I'll have 2 planes at 7. The tactical bomber's target select doesn't matter because there's just 2 militia, and then a fighter in brown at 6. And hopefully we can get the second hit and make this quick and easy. That is a 7 from the tactical from one of the bombers, and so that is both militia dead. Electron, if you would care to roll the defense, and we'll see how many airborne I'm losing. Yep, that's 2 hits.
Bomber, oh, no, okay, never mind. All right, here we go.
Dang it. All right, 1 hit. So that'll be 1 airborne. And then I take the territory of southern England. I will go ahead and mark all the territories afterwards because there will be a lot of them. All right. The second one here is this attack on the port in Normandy. So first we have interception. That will be 2 fighters for Germany and 1 medium bomber, which I believe is 2 at 3 and 1 at 1, against 4 fighters from the Allies, which will be 4 at 3. So I'm going to roll the Germans first. Maybe we can take off some Allied planes before Paris happens. That doesn't look like it. Oh well. 1 hit. Darn. The Axis will lose a fighter then. Hopefully this doesn't come back to bite us horribly on the next impulse here, because if it wasn't already obvious, we were going... Oh, dang it. We were going for Paris this turn with a double impulse. Alright, I think that's all the ships removed from Belgium. Alright. I have a very slight lag when I'm playing multiplayer, and so sometimes things like that happen. Alright. Any dice? No dice. Alright. So, next, the medium bomber makes it through. We're going to attack that shipyard. I believe max damage is 5. And we roll a 2. So, not as great as it could have been, but that shipyard is damaged, which means that all those British ships in port are now stuck. In Electron, you can choose to scramble up to 3 of them. So, if you would decide that, that would be excellent. Alright. So that is a battleship, a battlecruiser, and a light carrier. And then the rest will remain... Oh, not a 5 damage. Will remain in port, stuck. And then that is, I believe, all the combat for the Germans on this first... Oh, nope, lots of combo rating. Sorry. So, first up, we're going to go ahead and do this battlecruiser. Black is the Germans, red is the Allies. Battlecruiser is going to +1. That is a 6, +1 is 7. -2 is 5, which is max damage on that northern line. Which means I'm not going to go ahead and roll those other 2 submarines that are raiding there, because there's no ASW or escorts to worry about sinking them, so it's just a bit of a waste of time. Take 1. So that's 5 damage. And then we will come down here, and we will raid on the Atlantic line with this sub and this sub. So going with the northern sub first. That's both dice. That's both dice. Whew! That's another good one. So +2 because it's a sub gives us 8, plus -4 is another 4 damage. Which 2, 3, 4, 5, which brings it up to 5. The second sub is going to roll to see if you can max that line out. That we can. That's 1 more damage. So that is a total of 5 damage on this line, 5 damage on that line, which is -10 for the British.
Actually, should be 11. That one from the Italian should have been cleared coming into this turn.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Forgot about that one. So then the British will be down at 24 then. Which is quite the sum. And I believe I have 1 more submarine down here off Africa. So I'm just going to grab a die for that. There's only 1 IPP here. German roll. It's a 6. British roll. It's a 4. That's just to add insult to injury. That's 1 more. And the British are down to 23. Which is still a extremely respectable sum for the British to be out the first turn of war. But at least it cut into the large amounts that they were making otherwise. So, yes. Oh, but that reminds me that these Italians are cleared from the Mediterranean. That Italian raiding. Alright. So I think that was all the combat movements for the first impulse of the German turn. Do correct me, and so I'm going to go ahead and move on to non-combat moves real fast. These planes from southern England will, most of them will return to Belgium, but this air transport will go back to Western Germany. Um, and then Picardy is captured. Alsace-Lorraine is captured. This airborne and marine from Western Germany, and this airborne from Berlin will move down to southern France by rail through Austria, and if I just scatter them everywhere. Come on. Yeah. Alright, so those three down there. And then this fighter and medium bomber that survived will move back to Western Germany and Picardy. Sorry, not sorry. They'll both just go back to southern France, because that's the most useful staging ground in this case. All right, I think that is everything for the first impulse. National Spain. Just gonna go ahead and roll that real quick. 2 first strikes of artillery at 2. Miss. 2 cavalry at 2. That's 1 hit. 2 infantry boosted by artillery at 2. Miss. And then that leaves us with 1, 2, 3, 4 infantry at 1. None. And then a mountain infantry at 2. That's 2 hits, so if he does decide to scramble that fighter, it is dead in the first round. And Madrid falls back to the Nationalists. And then, yeah. I will check the warden. I don't think he wanted to scramble that fighter, but there's always the chance the Republicans are feeling a little bit suicidal today. All right. There we go. Okay, so then that done, I will actually go ahead and declare the start of my second impulse, which means I get a second round of combat moves, followed by a second round of non-combat moves. So that round of combat moves will involve these forces in Alsace-Lorraine walking into Paris. This mechanized infantry in Picardy will go over the river. These planes will also attack. This transport plane in Western Germany will go 1, 2, 3. Pick up this airborne from Southern England, and then go 4, 5, 6 to Paris. And then it can land, come on, it can land in southern France afterwards. The air transport in Belgium will go 1, 2, 3, pick up an airborne from southern France, 4 into Paris, and then also it can go land in southern France afterwards. The other forces from southern France will just walk in, as will the planes there. This fighter in Normandy cannot scramble because there's not an airbase there. And I don't believe I have any other combat moves for the second impulse because the Spanish nationalists don't get it and my ships don't get it. And the seaplane is utterly useless. So in that case, we will go ahead and we will transfer this all down to the battle board. Most of it is already there, but this airborne needs to come on down because I wasn't sure how that battle would go. Airborne and planes. Actually, none of the planes are on the board. And all the French units are already down there. Right. So we will drag these down. And then set those up. I had an airborne here that has disappeared. There you go. Alright, so that airborne will be attacking at a 3. And then this will be a 7, 7, transport plane, 6, 6, 7. These 2 cavalry are at a 3. And then one of these airborne is also at a 3 because it's coming in on a transport plane. Oops, sorry. And then, so those are on transport planes. And then one of these mechs is at a 2 because of the river penalty for the first round. So I think that is all of the German units. going to replace the marker on Switzerland that I took off. And then we can set up the dice for this and get rolling. This is going to be a tight battle. Based on some math I did earlier, it looks like the Germans should probably win with their planes and a few land units left over, but that loss of the fighter in Normandy could really tank my chances here. And so we shall have to see. Check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 at 3. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 at 3. And then 2 for the airborne, 2 for the infantry, and then there's 2 for strikes. Over here, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 for at 2, 2 at 6, 3 at 7, and that is the Germans. So I will go ahead and start rolling then. First up is the 2 artillery for strike. At 3, 2 misses. Alright, I don't believe the French have any first strike units, because it's just planes and infantry. In that case, we will go ahead and roll air superiority. So there are 2 fighters from the Germans at 6. That is 2 hits, a 6 and a 4. So that's 2 French planes. And then I have this anti-aircraft gun. Here, I'm just going to copy these pink dice over. We'll get 3 shots at 3 at French planes. Or some more hits. And that is 1 hit. So that is 3 French planes that must be removed this round. Alright.
Bummer.
Good for me. And then we need to rule the French air superiority, because that will impact if I lose airborne or not. Is that 1 hit, I believe?
Yeah, just 1.
Yes. 1 hit. Alright, so 1 air transport will be lost, along with its corresponding airborne, to save my fighters. So that will be 1 die lost from the 3 row. Alright, now on to the lane units. There is 13 at 2. Alright, that looks like 1, 2, 3. At 3, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. At 3. That does not look as good. 1, 2, 3, as well from that. Fighters have already rolled. And then from tactical, win gold, and 2 medium bombers at 7. That is a miss, miss, and a miss. Oof. Only 6 hits then, I believe. Which is not going to make much of a dent in that French wall of men. So the defense then?
Okay.
Okay. Let's see. 1. Oof. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. No,
So,
here's another one, because it's 3.
okay,
5.
so two target selects. We'll take a light tank and a mechanized.
Alright. Light tank, mechanized. And then that leaves 3 left, which will be 3 infantry. 1, 2, 3. And then the light tank die, and the mechanized die.
The medium bomber.
Scores a hit. That'll be another infantry.
Okay.
Don't see any more 1s, which is nice. Oh, dang it, there's 1 more. Okay. This might be a bad battle for the Germans. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hits, and 1 target select.
So we'll take a light tank and then 7 more.
Yep. Light tank, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Alright, so that leaves One
I'm gonna
airborne.
roll the tactical bomber, last one.
Yeah.
And we'll take another mechanized.
Dang it, was that another target select?
Yeah.
Ugh. Okay. Oof. Oof. This might be a very short game. So this airborne gets demoted because it's no longer airborne assaulting. And then we now have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Oh, I'm going to remove that anti-aircraft gun. So there's actually another infantry here. And then 17 to 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Alright. But I come out of that with all my planes, which is a big part here. Alright, round 2. German attack. 3 at 2. No hits. I believe it was like 17 at 3. Alright. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's not bad. Alright. 2 at 6. That is 2 more, so that's a total of 7 hits. And then 3 at 7. And 1 hit for the tactical, the non-target select, and nothing from the bomber. So that's a total of 8 hits on the French, which is a turn too late. Alright, and then the return fire. Hopefully not as bad as the last turn. 1, 2. That's it. Yeah, that's dead. Alright. 1 hit from the plane. E. Okay. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4.
One more light tank.
And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hits. So 8, 9, 10 total. Alright. 1, 2, 3. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And a light tank. Alright, that leaves 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 German units. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. And I believe there is a lot more than that left of French. My planes have just not been rolling for me this battle. Losing that fighter may have really cost me. So we'll see how this goes. 9 at 3. Oh, we're doing pretty good. 3 hits. That's better than average. 2 at 6. 2 misses. Both 7s. Alright, let's see if the 7s roll 8s. Oh, target select, finally. But that'll just be an infantry because we can't select the planes. And then 1 hit. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 hits and 1 target select. So that target select would be British infantry, FYI.
Okay.
And then you have 4 total to take otherwise.
Did you grab the British one?
Yeah, I got the British one already.
Oh, okay. All right. Alrighty. We'll roll them up.
Misses, please. That doesn't look like misses. I see more target selects. It's 3. It's another 1. It's another 3. That's all those, though. Alright. And did you roll the fighters?
Yep.
Oh, dang it.
2 hits from the fighters.
Alright, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hits plus 2 target selects. I assume that's... Yep, those 2.
Yep.
Alright, so 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's the rest of my land units. So I think that means Germany is retreating. Because that hurt a lot. This might be the first game I've seen in a long time where Paris didn't fall. Whew, that was some bad rolling on my part and some very good rolling on the French part. But this is over, and the Axis are going to have a talk about how we want to get this game continuing. So these planes will all return back to the map, and we can now do some cleanup to figure out what's left. So all these German land units are dead. These German armies no longer have a purpose. And the French have an awful lot of units left. And I believe quite a big bank, too. Probably sitting around $25, if I recall correctly. So, yeah. That's fun. Okay. These German planes will return. So, let's see. They're coming from Belgium, so they have 2 remaining, which means they need to land in Bavaria or southern France. They will land in southern France. With the Italians. Hopefully prevent a horrible French counterattack. And see how that goes. This seaplane in Western Germany will stay there. Yeah, these guys will stay in port because I was hoping this French destroyer to be gone, but it is still there. Alright, I believe I left an air transport down here. Yeah. And so the German army has been completely and utterly wiped from the board, which is not fun. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we will now go ahead and replenish it with some buys, because I have no further non-combat movements in this case. I was thinking this would be a long turn with Vichy, but no Vichy. Germany will probably be going into turtle mode after this, with what the Allied forces currently in the area. So this Marine will get released to northern Italy. These 5 infantry will go to western Germany. This 3 infantry and 1 infantry will go to, these 2 infantry and anti-aircraft gun will go to Berlin. And this infantry will go to Bavaria. And I believe that is everything the Germans can do for non-combat, so we can move into purchase units. The Nationalists get a recruitment roll. Hopefully we hit that one. 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That is a failure. And we can go ahead and tally up the German income, which is now at 28. That doesn't seem right. Because I think I should have more. Because I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 right here. Oh, but I lost Eastern Germany. Yep, that'll be it. Alright, so yep, Germany is at 28 IPP. In terms of bonus income, we get nothing for Norway, we get 3 for Sweden, nothing for Romania, nothing for the Middle East, and nothing for Molotov-Ribbentrop till the end of the turn. So that is 28 plus 3 will be 31 IPP remaining for Germany for next turn. And I believe that's everything. I don't think there's anything I'm missing there. Yeah, that was quite the debacle. The Axis, and probably the Comintern, will have a lot to discuss going forward on how we want to deal with this. Oh, slight amendment. This heavy cruiser and transport will be moving to off the coast of Germany. They're Spanish. But yep, that's everything. We'll see how the UK responds, because they have at least a turner, or many more of respite Their fleet is stuck in port, but their army is still intact, as is most of their air force, and that will probably give them a lot of options going forward, especially with Poland still alive and Italy in the war. So thank you all for watching. Here's hoping that your German attacks on Paris don't go quite as bad as this one, and that you have a good day.